Some of the shots that they show in his highlights, he has Williams under him and Tatum jumping. Now, if you remember when OKC used to play the Clippers, Chris Paul used to guard KD, and he would get up under him. That's all Boston is doing. They're just doing it with bigger bodies.
I think that I think that it's pretty clear that the system does what it's supposed to do. The ball circulates, especially when there's only one of KD or or Kyrie on the court. The problem is,
You're absolutely right, Eves. You're absolutely right, and that's why I say they don't fit.
and uh, there's there's a bit of it, and tell me if I'm making this up, Sam. There's a bit of it that is coming from like this dueling banjos type of thing that Kyrie got with KD, where it's like, oh, you just did that, now let me show you what I could do, and then it's never in the flow of a game. Like, I'm gonna be your decoy, or I'm gonna, for the next 5 possessions, I'm gonna get you into rhythm because you've been off. Like, it's that's not really part of Kyrie's game. Now I'm starting to like. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm starting to like, kind of like realize that what Kool-Aid is saying is right. That the two of them might not fit together. Sam, am I bugging?
No, I mean, like, I think it's possible. Like, I think it's possible for them to fit together. Like, I mean, I just agree that I think they totally need like a table setter. Like, I think even if you had a guy like, like even if you had like a guy like Rubio on this team who just like doesn't think about anything besides getting everybody involved, and like we saw his impact on winning with Cleveland earlier this year. They were a different team before he got hurt. Like, I think that would obviously make a massive difference, or even like what Chris Paul did with the Suns. I mean, obviously they didn't have two dominant like ball handling scorers, but like I do think it can work because like we saw it last year, and that was obviously with Harden. But like it's it's clearly doable. I just think that like they have this thing. First of all, they have this thing, and you can tell when it's coming. And one of us usually texts in the group chat, which is that when they get down, Kyrie goes into hero ball and he just starts like forcing things, and it's just like becomes kind of like mayhem. And then like KD wants to get his shots, and then like it basically like devolves into like a total, bad high school or middle school game. And so like I definitely think it's possible. It's just the same. This is where it gets to coaching. To me, it's just the same script over and over, where coaching plays a role. It's
Yeah,
not just
your turn, my turn.
yeah, it's just the
Yeah.
Your
same.
turn, my
It's
turn.
the same
My
script
issue is
constantly.
this.
But
My issue is this. I'm gonna piggyback off of what Sam just said. Like, you ever notice when Kyrie gets the screen from Drummond or any big, he never takes the screen and head and goes downhill. He's drawing and stringing it out. Well, he does a lot with Drummond. If Drummond sets the screen for him to go right, and Drummond does that thing where he seals him all the way to the lane, he never dumps it. Why are you going in the same path that the screener is going? Like, he's not using the screen or the pick to actually go by anybody. It's just to shoot the same damn jump shot. Then
but
don't ask for the damn pick.
but how many times do you see him wave them off though? He
Oh, a
he
lot.
he waves them off, and you know what? We're going long on the episode. I wanna shout out the rest of the Nets team, yo, because when I look into these stats, and I'll share them with you guys, I gotta give them credit. We shot more 3-pointers last night, on a night that Kevin Kyrie sold ass. We shot 47% from three. We got more foul calls than them, so we can't even blame the refs. We got 28 fouls to their 27, right? Even the turnovers, as bad as the turnovers looked, it was 14-14. The only place that they killed us, because we drew even on rebounds. We had more offensive rebounds than them. So like, I gotta give credit to the young Nets, others, as Shaq likes to call them, they got busy in every single place except the one place that they don't control it. Assist. These guys don't have the ball in their hand, and that's the only stat column that Boston beat us at. Of course, they beat us at the score, but we play that team. That's why I feel so strongly against not giving them the credit and not giving Nash the credit, because if you would have told me he would have put a team out there that would out rebound the Celtics, that would out offensive rebound the Celtics.
The rebounds was even.
It was even, but out offensive rebound them, because an offensive rebound is a tough rebound. Like they're the ones the Celtics are the ones that's supposed to have all the dogs and all that. We had more blocks than them. We blocked more shots than them. You know, to the tune of 9-7. Like that was a gritty performance by the rest of the. Huh? Say it again.
We're a bigger team. We're a bigger team inside than them.
I could agree with that. I think they're.
We may not utilize it the best, but we're the bigger team inside.
We have one of our inside players is Bruce Brown. He's 6'3". He's not big for an inside player.
I'm looking at KD, Clax, and Drummond when I'm saying that. Bruce Brown is a specialty.
Yeah, but he got 8 rebounds last night. KD got 4.
What I said. You're right.
You have to. That's where the tragedy of last night is. These boys did their job. We can't even really say any one of them except Kessler, who didn't really get a chance and probably shouldn't have gotten a chance last night. You know, everybody did their job and did it well. And we held you know we held Jaylen Brown to 22 points. He was the one that their lead scorer.
It was the closer. He was their closer at the end.
Right.
My question is this: do we show them a zone periodically through the game to throw them off, or do we keep going and saying, well, we're home now. Role players are going to play better at home when they played good last game. So I'm going to go so it'll be full circle. My question to you, Yves, is why did we lose game 1? Because you already answered why we lost game 2. You said because the Stars went 1 for 17.
No,
So for game 1, I want to know, how did we lose and when we were up? Like what do we do different? Because I truly believe defense carries over. It doesn't matter where you go. Defense goes with you because it's a want to.
Right. No, I think there was an adjustment that they found in the second half defensively that actually put them back in the game, got them the lead, but because of what they counted on the Stars, it put them in a position like, honestly, like, we're just gonna keep it funky. Like, KD just sold on that night, and he had the ball more on the first game than he did the second game. And what it came down to, that entire loss was a last minute play where KD got caught ball watching. He lost his man, which was Tatum, and Tatum went in for and that wasn't even an easy layup. That layup, he had to spin like a madman to get open, but he was gone, and he went right past Kyrie and KD. Now, I feel like it's deeper than that, but the reality is
the adjustments.
But that's the thing. For me, I feel like, how could you say they didn't adjust when they came into the second game and improved on almost every statistical category?
I'm saying for KD, because we've been talking, and I know your stance is the Stars didn't show up. So what I'm saying to you is, what will he have to do for us to win, considering all things being the same and Boston's defense? They're gonna still be as physical. They got the PJ Tucker rule book last year for KD, and they're using it. So until the refs foul out everybody or somebody gets hurt, they're gonna continue to do what they're doing. And how does he adapt and adjust?
You saw
and
KD's
what can
mom.
Nash do to help him?
You saw Kevin Durant's mom.
Yeah, I saw his mom.
She had the fly camouflage full length coat on, yelling at the refs yesterday. I love that. I love her. Listen, the Nets win both of those games if you get a semi-average KD, a below-average KD. If KD shoots, instead of shooting 29%, if KD shoots 37%, we win both of those games. That's how close
if
we
KD
are to
hits
winning.
his 2 free throws in the fourth quarter, we win.
My point exactly. My point exactly. Like,
but he didn't. So we lost. So now, what adjustments does he make?
He has to
for Game 3.
He has to be Kevin Durant. He has to be Kevin Durant. I know that sounds really simple, but if he's Kevin Durant, we would have won the first 2 games. I really think that they found something. I don't think that getting Ben is gonna. Say that again.
I think they're punking him. At some point, the physicality is getting to him, and it's obvious. We can keep saying he's having these bad shooting nights, but there's a reason. It's called the Celtics defense on him.
Even PJ Tucker last year didn't really stop KD. He was super physical. Him and Middleton, you know what I mean? Like they did their thing on Kevin Durant, and they did play physical with him. He still was getting 39. Still was getting 40, 50.
Yeah, but PJ Tucker is 6'5". Jason Tatum probably 6'9", 6'10". Just as long and
he's
athletic.
quicker. And he's quicker. He's
younger.
As athletic, if not more athletic. I agree with that. It's just Kevin Durant. If we need Kevin Durant to be Kevin Durant, that's the key. Everybody did their job. The idea was, Sam, and tell me if I'm wrong in saying this, it doesn't matter who you get if you got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. If that was the thesis, right? Tell me, Sam, why is it not the thesis anymore? What happened?
I think that the team has been hit by like really incredible defense, and I think that the response to a really good defensive plan can't just be like, but we have the two most skilled players in the league, and they just got to do them, because I think the shots that they took yesterday were all really contested and really good. And I think like when that happens, when you get hit in the face like that, you can't just run out there and do the same thing and then blame the players if the shots are contested and not good. Like that, like their offense yesterday, I mean, how many possessions did they have where they were like throwing up crap at the end of the shot clock? Like that to me is coaching. Like that isn't, KD and Kyrie like not making their shots. That's just not having any organizational offense and like knowing what to do in certain situations. And so that's what really gets me concerned. And what I would like to see is I think the team, look, the thing I'm most nervous about is has the team totally like semi quit? Because I think, and Kool-Aid would know better than any of us.
I think that's on the table.
No,
Sam.
Right, and like Kool-Aid can speak to.
Read what Kyrie said. Now, what Kyrie said recently makes me start to think about what Kevin Durant said earlier.
Yep.
And what Harden and I'm sorry not to step on you, but and what Harden has, the statement Harden was making by asking to be traded, that maybe they looked around in that locker room and was like, nah, this is not a championship team.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point. And look, Kool-Aid's played in way bigger games than any of us, and he's obviously been the star on a lot of teams. If the star player looks uninterested or is going through the motions, that shit does have a trickle down. I mean, I never played anything big, but when the guy that you're looking up to